Today's project is a bikini top. This should be fairly beginner friendly and I'll have everything you need to know in the bio down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this easy bikini top tutorial. For this project, we'll be using scissors, a 3.75mm hook, and I'm using the 1-pound Caron yarn. We're going to first start by making a slip knot. You're going to make a figure 8 with the yarn to make a loop, pulling the yarn attached to the skein through. Then you just want to put your crochet needle through the loop, pulling it tight enough. Now onto the foundation chain. You're just going to loop the yarn around the hook, pulling it through the loop, and just continue to do this. And I do it for 12 chains, but you can do it as much as you need to fit your breast size. At the end of the 12 chains, I'm going to chain one additional one. And now we can start row 1. We're going to skip one and insert a single crochet into every foundation stitch. To do this, you're just going to insert your hook into the foundation chain, looping the yarn around the hook, pulling it through that foundation chain, and with 2 loops on the hook, you're just going to yarn over, pull through. And this is what your row 1 should look like. Next, we're going to chain 1, flip your work, and continue to single crochet skipping the first one. And you're going to do this into every single stitch until you reach the end of the row. And this is what it should start to look like. And I'll meet you guys when I'm done with this row. So here I am at the end of the row, just inserting a single crochet into the very last stitch, and it should look something like this. Now instead of going back across like we normally would with any other project, we're actually going to turn the work vertically and insert the hook into the very top loop. You're going to insert 3 single crochets into this very top loop at the side of the project. Now you're going to turn it the complete opposite way and start working into the bottom of the foundation chain. Now you're just going to single crochet into every stitch until you reach the end of the row. And make sure you crochet into the very last stitch, like so. Again, we're going to chain 1, flip our work, and then just work like we normally would with any other project. Again, remembering to skip the very first chain. You're just going to insert a single crochet into every stitch until you reach the top of the project, inserting 3 again at the very top stitch, the middle stitch. Now you're just going to continue to work in this half circular pattern, just working the other side of the project. And you're just going to continue to single crochet, and I'll meet you guys at the end. Here I am at the end of the row, and again I'm going to chain 1, flip my work, and continue to single crochet again in this half circular motion all the way up the project. Now you can continue to do this for as many rows as you need to. I typically like to stay within the range of 8 to 12 rounds, meaning 8 to 12 half circular rows, but again you can do however many you want to do to fit your specific breast size. Keep in mind I am working for a breast size of 28A, so I am fairly small chested, but again just work to the amount that you need to work for your specific breast size. And you guys can just meet me when you're done with that. I'll meet you guys when I'm done with the entire rounds. And this is what it should look like when you're done. I'm just going to chain 1 to secure it off and create a slip knot, cutting the yarn and pulling it tightly to make sure that it doesn't come loose. Now I'm going to show you guys how I personally tuck in my yarn, but you can do this however you want to do it. But this is what I found is the best way to hide your yarn. So you're basically just going to put your hook through the top bumps of the stitches of the single crochet, leaving the back stitch behind so it's kind of interwoven. And you're just going to pull the yarn through, turning it the other way and doing the same exact way to kind of weave it through So you're going to kind of create like a U shape with this yarn, and then obviously just cut off whatever you don't need, pulling it just to make sure that the yarn is very, very well tucked in. I'm just going to do the same exact thing with the other yarn, and this is what it should look like. You can pause the video here and come back when you're done with the other cup. Next, we're going to start on the straps. So you're going to go ahead and create a slip knot again like we did in the beginning of the video, except this time instead of just inserting it into the hook, you're going to first insert it into the very top middle stitch of your cup, then insert your hook into the loop, pulling it through and then chaining one. And now you're just going to continue to chain until you have 50. Once you've reached 50 or however many you want, you're just going to cut the yarn and pull it tight to make sure it doesn't come loose. Again, just tucking in the extra yarn. You're going to repeat the same exact thing for the other cup, and I'll meet you guys when you're done. Now we're going to make the base string that's going to attach the cups together. So you're just going to create another slip knot and just chain about 200. Of course, this is flexible, but I just do 200. At the end, cutting off the yarn. Now we're going to weave the band into the cups. So I would recommend, especially if you're a beginner, to use a bigger crochet needle to do this, because it's just going to make it easier to pull the band through. But you're just going to weave your crochet needle in and out of every row until you reach the end of the cup. This part may be a little bit out of frame, I'm so sorry about that, but I'm sure you can assume what you're going to do here. You're literally just going to attach the band to the crochet hook, holding it tightly and pulling it through the cup. And this is what it'll look like when you're done, and you're literally just going to repeat the same exact steps to the other cup, and just meet me back here when you guys are done with that. And this is what it'll look like when you're done. The next step is completely optional, but I definitely recommend doing it. It just makes it look a lot cleaner. But you're just going to trim off the little extra bits of yarn that aren't crocheted at the ends. But again, just make sure that the yarn is thoroughly pulled. That way it doesn't come undone. And that's it. You have yourself a crochet bikini top. I have personally worn it in the water and it's been fine. You can wear it in pictures. Please comment any questions you have in the comments down below. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my cheeky bikini bottom tutorial.